I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
So free agency is right around the corner, and everyone is talking about the main stars of this free agency, LeBron James and Paul George, and there are some murmurs here and there about DeMarcus Cousins. But we can't forget that these aren't the only players in this free agency. In fact, there is actually over 100 players entering this free agency this summer. So in today's video, I'll be looking at some of the more underrated ones and the big impact their decisions could actually have on the NBA. But with that being said, let's get right into this top 4. Number 1. Zach Lavine. Now hearing Lavine on this list may confuse you a bit, and if I didn't know what I was about to tell you, I'd be pretty surprised too. A lot of you may expect Lavine to stay in Chicago, but in fact, that could not be happening, as some reports have come out recently stating that the Chicago Bulls are undecided on whether they should re-sign Zach Lavine or not. Obviously, he's a restricted free agent, so any offer Lavine gets, they can match it, but I think the Bulls are afraid of his injury past and may let him walk, which would be insane. Other reports are saying that the Bulls will look at offers other teams give to Lavine before they decide matching any or not, but it's crazy to think that Lavine may not be in the Windy City after this season. This is why it's important to look out for Zach Lavine this offseason. Though his ACL may hold him back a little bit, he is still a very capable player with a lot of upside in his game. I can definitely see a team like the Kings or Nets offering Lavine a ton of money this offseason, potentially a max contract. And as I've stated, with the Bulls uncertain on what they should do with Lavine, maybe he'll move teams this summer, and that would just be insane. I'll go over this again. Zach Lavine is only 23 years old. He has so much potential. This season he came off a severe ACL injury and averaged 16.7 points a game. That may not seem like much, but this was on 27 minutes a game. Last season, Lavine averaged 19 points on 37 minutes. So if we up Zach Lavine's minutes per night to 36, we can see that he has the potential to average 22 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1.3 steals a game. That is all-star worthy numbers, and if teams look at Lavine seriously this summer, they should take this into deep consideration. Those numbers will have a huge impact on a young team like the Kings and could push them into playoff contention. So watch out for Lavine in July, because where he ends up could have a much bigger impact than you may think. Number 2. Isaiah Thomas. A lot of you may have forgotten this, but Isaiah Thomas is actually a free agent this summer, and before this season, he was getting a lot of talk about where he could go, and he was in most people's top 5 free agents for the summer. But ever since he was on the Cavs, ever since he was traded to the Lakers, he has fallen off a ton, getting minimum minutes and not even starting in some cases. This season he went from a 28 points per game scorer to only 15 a game, and his field goal percentage dropped from an outstanding 46% to a shocking 37%. This fall off has left teams wondering if they should really consider signing him to a max deal. If I'm honest here, signing Isaiah Thomas wouldn't be a bad idea. You just need to be the right team to do so, because Isaiah Thomas can make a lot of impact on a team if he is given the required role. A lot of people are sleeping on Thomas's free agency. Though he may not be a top player anymore, he can still probably give you up to 20 a night, again, if he is given the correct role. For me personally, I can see quite a few teams that would be willing to sign Isaiah Thomas. The first team would be the New York Knicks, with Porzingis likely to miss the start of next season and the Knicks needing a big player on the team that can carry the first option load. Isaiah Thomas would be an almost perfect fit. He can help mentor young players like Frank Ntilikina and maybe even Kevin Knox, and can be the vocal point of the team for at least the first 20 games or so. The next team I can see potentially signing IT for is the Los Angeles Lakers. Though I don't think the Lakers would likely sign him on a max deal, Thomas would still be a great fit here. Isaiah has come out saying that he's now fine coming off the bench in a 6-man role for the Lakers, so it could be likely that he remains with the team. Also, if Isaiah Thomas is wanting the best chance to win a championship, with the Lakers potentially trading or signing multiple big name free agents like the ones I mentioned at the start of the video, then staying in Los Angeles may be the best chance also. There are some other teams that may give Isaiah Thomas a shot, like the Clippers, Bucks, Pelicans, something like that, but the 2 I mentioned before are probably his best options out there right now. I think a lot of people are underestimating the potential of Isaiah Thomas's impact to a team, especially after this season. He can still be a 20-point scorer or a huge impactful player off the bench, so keep an eye on Isaiah Thomas this offseason. He's going to make a lot more noise than some of you may think. Number 3. Tyreke Evans. Tyreke Evans had one of his best seasons since his rookie year in the 2018 season, and with free agency coming around, his value has skyrocketed. He's been averaging over 19 points a game this season and has been a fantastic player on the Memphis Grizzlies. Unfortunately, Evans has been kind of flying under the radar this summer as a key free agent because he is actually going to be a key piece to any competing team next season. The first team I'd see signing Tyreke Evans is the Boston Celtics. Evans won't be a starter, but he'd be a key piece on the bench and could even take up a 6-man role. He'd have a huge impact coming off the bench, and I'd bet he played really well off of Hayward and Irving when he's on the floor with them. Evans isn't exactly a first option on a championship team, but you'd be thankful he's there when the playoffs roll around. Another team that could sign Evans that would make noise in the NBA next season is the Philadelphia 76ers. The young team in Philly needs a bit more depth, and Evans would add just that and more. Again, I think he would be a perfect fit with the Rookie of the Year Ben Simmons and alongside future superstar Joel Embiid, and he'd give them at least 15 points a night on efficient shooting. This would help the 76ers get over the hump come playoff time and would help them make a finals push. Something small like Evans can actually create a huge influence on the NBA, and that's what's really underrated here. Number 4. Jabari Parker. Entering his rookie year, Jabari Parker was perceived to be a future all-star, but injuries have really derailed this thought. Now with a huge amount of question marks over his name, it may seem like the Bucks may not want to risk paying Parker a huge contract. This would be pretty crazy because Parker still does have a ton of potential. I mean, he's only 23 years old and doesn't turn 24 till next year. This season he's been playing heavily restricted minutes due to his injuries, but if we bump up his minutes to 36, he averages close to 20 points and over 7 rebounds. Those are great numbers and I'm sure plenty of teams would want him. For example, the Brooklyn Nets. After trading their picks to the Celtics in the blockbuster trade that has destroyed their franchise, they are in clear need of some more young talent. That's why I don't think it would come as a surprise if the Nets offered Jabari Parker a ton of money in July. Parker would have a huge impact on this team and would be given an immediate starring role with D'Angelo Russell. I can see the two playing off each other really well. All in all, with the question marks over Parker's head, it may cause the Bucks to let him go if the team throws enough money at him. This decision can make a lot of noise throughout the NBA, and that's why I think Jabari Parker is an underrated free agent this summer. But what do you guys think of this? How big of an impact are these free agents going to make? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.